Hello, people of YouTube! My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like. Feel free to comment down below what shows you would like me to do in the future, because we only have so many episodes of My Hero Academia left, about 10, and same with Harley Quinn. We're getting close to the end of that, too. So, gotta find me some new shows to watch. I've been watching The Promised Neverland, and I started Demon Slayer, so maybe I'll be doing reviews on those shows. But anyway, today we are talking about My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 14, and it was insightful, it was sad, intriguing. Obviously, it's not very action-packed in this particular episode, although there is some action in it. But things happened in it that I honestly wasn't expecting. So, Overhaul and the Shihigashi are completely defeated. They're all going to jail, etc. Twice and Toga actually phoned in Shigaraki to let him know where they were taking Overhaul and the quirk-killing drugs, quirk-killing bullets that they had. And basically what happened is Compress, Twice, and Dabi, we get to see Dabi finally. It's been a long time since we've seen Dabi actually do something. They all went in a truck with Spinner too, as the driver. Forgot about Spinner. To go basically capture him and get the drug. There was a pro hero there that showed up with the police that had abilities to basically make a sand wall type thing. He went against Dabi and lost. Mr. Compress compressed him into a ball. He used a giant rock to topple over the police car. They got into the truck. They got Overhaul out of the truck. The guy with the sand powers, 9 out of 10, is dead, unfortunately. Apparently, Dabi's been going around burning people, so that's what he's been doing in the meantime of all these events going on. And they got to Overhaul, and they got the drugs. Overhaul asked, "Are you going to kill me?" And he was like, "No." And basically what he did was Shigaraki used his quirk on his arm to kind of get back at him for what he did to Mr. Compress's arm, who now has a kind of a robot arm, which I thought was kind of cool. And then he says, "Oh, I have to cut it off, or it's going to completely kill you." So he ends up cutting off his arm. And then I believe he also injects him with the drug as well. And he was like, you know, for somebody that wants to destroy quirks, you really heavily rely on your quirk. And he just had this creepy, evil, sinister face. So we don't know what Shigaraki in the League of Villains is planning to do with the drugs. We just know that they have him. They have 4 bullets, and they have 5 bullets that can reverse it, as far as I know, because I believe they also have reversal serum. Then kind of moving on from there, everybody's in the hospital, everybody's okay. Unfortunately, Sir Night-Eye does not make it. Recovery Girl doesn't have a way to heal him. Everybody else is beat up, but pretty much okay, minus Miro obviously not being able to have his quirk. All Might finally goes to Sir Night-Eye, basically apologizing for everything. And Sir Night-Eye was like, "No, I also apologize because I have seen that Deku can change the future." And at this point, it leads me to believe that Sir Night-Eye actually wants Deku to be the one that holds on to One for All. Sir Night-Eye actually even touched Miro's face before he passed away. So we do know, in fact, that Eri at some point is going to get control of her powers, and Miro is going to be able to have his quirk back, which is going to be delightful because Miro will make an excellent hero. I really like him as a character. He definitely grew on me this season. I wish we saw some more characters using their powers, because, I mean, yeah, you had Asui and you had U-Gravity there as well, but they didn't really do much. Neri-chan also didn't really do much, too. Rukyu, number 10 hero that turns into a dragon. All of them were there, but they weren't, like, obviously main vital points. The main characters so far that we're looking at is Sun Eater, Miro, Deku, Sir Night-Eye. Eraserhead was actually in it quite a bit. You know, Fat Gum, Kirishima. Those are kind of the main ones that we were looking at up to this point in this season. So it's great that Miro will be able to get his abilities back. Deku will probably continue to have One for All and be awesome with it, which will be delightful. And we will get to see what happens. I don't know if Deku has any injuries. The doctor did ask how his arm got that way, although Eraserhead kind of nabbed him beforehand. Nobody can see Eri at this moment, and she's in quarantine, which kind of sucks because obviously she really appreciated Deku just tugging her, you know, human emotion, human kindness, which was delightful. But because she can't control her powers yet, without Eraserhead being there to stop her if needed, She is actually very dangerous. She's feverish right now because I think she's just in disbelief that everything happened. Obviously, she used her quirk up a lot, so that probably tuckered her out. She's a little kid. But eventually she will be able to control her quirk. I'm sure maybe we'll get an episode somewhere down the road showing Eraserhead training with her. Because obviously he is the only one that had the ability to stop her quirk if it gets out of hand, so she doesn't accidentally kill somebody. Which kind of is interesting because I want to know if she completely erases somebody, if she is able to bring them back. I don't know if that's a possibility or not, or maybe it's because they're completely gone. Like maybe if there was a little bit left of them, she could kind of push them the other way. But we honestly don't know the full extent of her abilities and quirks, and I'm sure eventually we will get to see her again, because obviously Miro's got to get his powers back at some point, which will be delightful. So now, kind of moving forward, what's going to happen in the future? I'm guessing the rest of this season is going to be about confronting the League of Villains and trying to get those drugs back. There is a possibility somebody else or several people could lose their quirks in the process, but obviously they're going to have to fight them to get those drugs away from them because they're very dangerous. And if they figure out how to mass produce them, which it wouldn't surprise me if Shigaraki planned on doing that, would be even worse because we do not need a bunch of quirk-killing drugs around because basically Overhaul's plan is still there, but basically Shigaraki just kind of stole it and made it his own, which I thought was pretty funny. It's kind of interesting to see Shigaraki grow as a villain too, because he's definitely a lot better than he was. He used to be kind of a whiny brat, and now he's definitely becoming more of a leader with this crazy, creepy face. But it's good to see everybody kind of growing on both sides of the spectrum and watching them develop throughout the season. We're probably not going to see Deku full power for a very long time. The only reason we were able to see him do that is because of Eri, but who knows, maybe he'll get Eri as a sidekick or something once she controls her power, so even if he can only do, like, get to a point where he's doing 50%, he can actually do 100%, because right now he is at 20%, so he has a long way to go. I don't know what kind of dictates the percentages, but he said he's at 20%, so I'm going to go ahead and believe that he's at 20%. My only question is, because Eri doing all this reverse kind of damage, is how did it not get to a point where it, like, got rid of all of Deku's arm issues? Like, he still had the giant scar and the scars on his hand, and everything, but to me it would seem that by getting, like, it rewound, that should be able to get rid of that and heal that. But I'm not really sure. Maybe that'll be something down the road too, where we get to see his arm completely healed because of Eri. Same with Ida, because remember he had issues with his arm too when he got stabbed by Stain. She might be able to fix that as well. We'll just have to wait and see what happens and go from there. So moving forward, League of Villains arc is now coming up. Everybody's probably going to be like a happy-go-lucky episode. You know, everybody's good to go. Everybody's meeting. Everybody's asking questions, etc. Next episode, I think it's just kind of going to be like, it won't be like a recap, it'll just kind of be like a happy episode, and then near the end of it, it'll be, oh, by the way, the League of Villains are still out there, and they need to be stopped now too. So sorry to put a damper in your happiness and excitement that we defeated this one group, because now we got to go back and take care of the other group as well. So who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I don't think there's going to be any fighting really next episode. As I said, I think it's just going to be all the characters meeting up, having a good time, enjoying themselves, and then getting the cold, dark news that they have to go fight the League of Villains again as well, and stop them from mass producing the drug that Overhaul managed to create using Eri's blood. So that pretty much sums it up. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.